Wynwood. Place is amazing to ride a bike through. Everything is covered in street art, murals, you name it. So many colors, so much great creativity. It's fantastic.
So this past summer, I visited Miami with my family. We stayed in a place called Wynwood, which I didn't even realize at the time was famous for its murals and street art. Now, I'm somebody who absolutely loves murals and street art. I seek it out wherever I go and have shared reports on Bike Portland from street art meccas like Montreal and New York City, not to mention all the excellent murals and art we've got right here in Portland. But Wynwood is on a completely different level. Located just a few miles north of downtown Miami, and just a mile inland from the expensive high-rise condos on Biscayne Bay, Wynwood has blown up in the past 5 to 10 years. In the 1950s, the Wynwood neighborhood was home to a lot of heavy industry and Puerto Rican immigrants, but as industry dried up in the 1980s, many people left. With industrial bones, graffiti on many of its boarded up walls, and a few artists who liked the cheap rent, Wynwood sat relatively unknown until developers started to move in around 2005. A few years later, a developer named Tony Goldman had a vision to preserve the unsanctioned murals and graffiti, and he created the Wynwood Walls, which is now a major tourist attraction. But Goldman's vision sparked something much bigger than his multi-block walls. Today, the entire neighborhood is painted. I mean walls, streets, sidewalks, entire buildings, crosswalks. And this outpouring of public art has become the defining feature of the neighborhood. So when I heard from organizers of the Portland Green Loop that they were looking to do a mural corridor in the central east side of Portland, I knew that I had to dig up these clips and share some of these visuals from Wynwood.
The walls are constantly changing as new buildings come in, new buildings go up, buildings get torn down. It's a constant evolution. It's sort of got this ephemeral quality, so you feel like you want to go out and see it before it's gone and changed. But as much as development and gentrification has changed this area, there's something about the volume and quality of the murals that somehow keeps it having a very, let's say, people power feel to it. There's not a lot of political murals, although there are some, but the expression and the art is not limited to the walls. You see messages scrawled all along the sidewalks and in the street a lot of times, and those tend to be a little more pointed, political, inspirational messages from artists. In a way, the community has reclaimed Wynwood by literally putting their personal stamp on it in the form of paint and graffiti. And it's really inspiring to see. The art is not confined to one specific area. It seems like no matter where you turn, you're gonna see art, creativity, amazing colors. Pop into this little parking lot, which you might miss, and look what you see.
Governamente strapping the system.
It's so fun. Everywhere you look is something new, something creative, something colorful. Even the parking garage is pretty impressive. I just love all the randomness of the art and how unexpected it is. Here we are sort of outside the main part of Wynwood in an old park, and all of a sudden I come across this amazing public sculpture, which is this overturned car being guarded by this massive wooden troll made out of pallets. And of course, it's right next to City Bike Station.
I think Wynwood has done something really special here. They've unleashed a level of creativity and artistry in a public way that is unlike any other place I've ever been. And it's added this excitement, vibrancy to the neighborhood that is really infectious. Every night there were thousands and thousands of people enjoying the streets, coming out together. It was a very big social scene, as you can imagine. And as I was standing out there, all I could think of is, wow, this is pretty much because of a bunch of paint on walls and paint on the street. And I just think there's something about street art like this and mural painting that is inherently more accessible than other types of art. Like, I know there's art districts and art galleries, but those have an entirely different demographic that they attract, and there's just they just have a different impact on people and on what it means to live in a city. And there's something about the accessibility of mural painting and street painting and graffiti, of course, the fact that it has this sort of cultural history of being unsanctioned and illegal, and by elevating that as an official thing from a city and sanctioning it and developing an entire neighborhood around it, you're telling the community that their expression is valuable and their expression is what defines the neighborhood. And there's something about that, I think, that attracts people, and it's something that I would love to see replicated more here in Portland.
I mean, everything has been painted, even this covering of a chain link outside a construction zone. Simpsons. So great.